Are we headed for a foreclosure crisis in 2021? We'll talk about it in today's Coffee with Kim. I have my coffee and I hope you have yours too. So there seems to be some concern that because of the most recent economic downturn and with the forbearance period ending soon, that there's going to be a lot of foreclosures on the market come 2021. So let's take a look at it. As you may know, the forbearance period that was offered to homeowners as part of the CARES Act is about to expire soon. So homeowners that weren't able to make payments will now have to have all of those payments caught up. So there's concern that these homeowners won't be able to make that large sum of payments at that time. And so there will be a flood of short sales and foreclosures hitting the market in 2021. However, this time there are some major differences than what happened back in the housing crisis of 08 and 09. For one thing, lenders don't want this problem again. They do not want the houses back. They do not want to go through that big housing crisis that we had all those years ago. So they have put in some alternative programs in place to help these homeowners out. So they are offering homeowners extended periods of time to pay those payments back. So that's a great thing that they're offering some alternative ways to get homeowners current on their payments. Some are actually even tacking on those payments to the end of the mortgage. Another thing that's different this time around is for homeowners who aren't able to make up those payments, even if they can't add more to their house payment, let's say they lose their job, can't find another one, so they find themselves in the position that they can't afford their home, chances are they have a lot of equity in their home, so they'd be able to put the home on the market, sell it for full market value, and walk away with some cash. Where we didn't have that situation back in 08 and 09, a lot of people were actually underwater for their home. Now, there were some other factors that caused the housing crisis back in 08 and 09. There were predatory lending practices, falsely inflated appreciation rates, and some other things that happened to cause the housing crisis. And last time in the Great Recession, it was the housing crisis that actually created or led the Great Recession. This recession that we're in, housing is actually leading us out of it, which is a good thing. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be some foreclosures, and I predict that we're going to see some really terrifying headlines like, foreclosure crisis again, or skyrocketing foreclosures. And, nobody wants to see this, but let's look at it in some context. Over the years, if we look back going to 1999, the average number of foreclosures per quarter was about 200,000, just over 200,000. In 08 and 09, that number jumped to over 500,000 in a quarter. So that was definitely a foreclosure crisis. Because there's been a moratorium on foreclosures, the past couple of quarters, our numbers for foreclosures have been less than 20,000. So what that means is if we get back to what our average was of just over 200,000, that's 10 times what we've seen over the past couple of quarters. So yes, if you're going to see a headline that's comparing it to that, then yes, they're going to say all of these really scary headlines, foreclosure crisis looming, and all of that kind of thing. So you need to keep it in context though. So when you compare it to what we're in right now, yes, it is major, but when we look at the average over the last 20 years, it's really average compared to the last 20 years. So bottom line is we are going to see some foreclosures and you're probably going to see some terrifying headlines. But remember, the chances of us having a flood of foreclosures hit the market in 2021 is very, very small. I'll be keeping my eye on it. And I know that you'll have questions, so please feel free to reach out anytime and ask me. I'd love to talk with you. And if you'd like to have coffee in person or virtually, I'm always here for you. So please give me a call or text. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.